Welcome back, Cinephiles. I'm Robbie.
I'm Jeremy.
And we're here for our fourth installment in our lead up to The Last Jedi. We're doing the Star Wars Marathon and we're up to the Phantom Menace. Not the best Star Wars. But let's do this.
Not condone a course of action that will lead us to war.
A communications disruption can mean only one thing: invasion.
At last we will reveal ourselves to the Jedi. At last we will have revenge.
Begin landing your troops.
We haven't much time.
Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, was directed by George Lucas. It was the first of the prequel trilogy, and it stars Liam Neeson, Ewan McGregor, Natalie Portman, Jake Lloyd, and Ian McDiarmid.
Yeah. The plot is basically two Jedi, Ewan McGregor and Liam Neeson, playing Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi, basically get caught up in politics. I mean, they get sent.
That's pretty much
that's
the movie.
Literally it. They get sent.
Politics.
They get sent to help with what is it, the peace treaty between the Naboo and some sort
and
of
the
treaty.
Trade Federation. Yeah.
Some sort of treaty going on, and then they get caught up in this massive mess because the Trade Federation kind of just screw Naboo over, and Naboo, and then they get taken on like this adventure. And they get chased by the Trade Federation.
And they meet Anakin.
Yeah, who you don't know it's Darth Vader because Anakin's never said in the original saga.
Yeah, no, it is.
It is?
Yeah.
Okay, well there you go.
Because Vader even says that name is dead to me.
Oh, that's right.
It doesn't mean anything to me anymore.
Yes, no, you're right. Yeah, so that's, the introduction to Darth Vader, pretty much. And, that's pretty much the movie.
So, you go in expecting Star Wars, and you get bureaucrats and government and Jar Jar Binks.
And an annoying little
and pod racing.
This is tense! Whoa! Now this is pod racing!
Yeah, and an annoying little kid who doesn't shut up.
Oops, this is not good.
This was my first ever Star Wars movie I ever saw, so I didn't really have anything to compare it to. So when I was a kid, I adored this movie. Watching it through adult eyes after watching the original trilogy, wow. I can see why it was such a massive disappointment.
I'm sort of in the same boat. I grew up just loving Star Wars. It wasn't the first Star Wars movie I saw, but I watched all of them and I loved all of them. And then it's not until I got older I grew a more appreciation for filmmaking. I was like, right, now I get it.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely moments in the Phantom Menace to love. The pod race is awesome. The fight between Darth Maul, Qui-Gon Jinn, and Obi-Wan is incredible. But there's just so many boring scenes in there.
Yeah.
From when they arrive in Coruscant up to when they leave Coruscant, which goes for like an hour, it's just politics and just boring dialogue, and we're just like, can we just get to the Star Wars stuff, please?
Yeah. It's probably the least Star Wars film out of all of them.
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, the best bit is probably the three-way battle between Qui-Gon, Obi, and Darth Maul. And Darth Maul was such an awesome villain, like such a cool character.
I thought he was a bit underused. Like, he was great in the finale, but leading up to that, he was very.
Yeah, you don't see him at all.
Yeah, just in and out all the time. So this was the first one that George Lucas really took full control over, since both number 2 and 3 in the original trilogy, he didn't actually direct himself. He didn't even fully write himself. He just co-wrote them. Here, he wrote, produced, directed, and I don't know if it was just a massive ego trip for him or I don't know what, but if he just didn't take any advice, because surely there was a few decisions that were made that other people were like, you know, what are you doing? That shouldn't really happen in a Star Wars movie. And the midichlorians, what was that?
Yeah, they shouldn't have tried to explain the Force. It just got out. It's just stupid. Like
The Force is just the Force. You don't need to explain it.
Yeah.
It's just a mysterious, like a mystical...
Force. Literally.
Yeah.
And
presence. And
the name explains what it is. That's all you need, really.
yeah. Yoda and Ben Kenobi in the original trilogy explained it perfectly. Just, it breathes in life and, you know, it
You
lives
feel
in and out of you.
passes through everything.
Yeah, and that's all you need to know. And don't explain everything.
Yeah.
Seriously, don't. Jake Lloyd plays Anakin.
You know, he actually got through school.
Oh no, he got bullied. I feel bad for him because he gives it his best. I just don't think he was well directed, and he was given horrible lines. I mean, even an Academy Award-winning actor wouldn't be able to make those lines work. And this is a kid on one of his, you know, first movies.
Debutantes, yeah.
And of course it wasn't going to work. Just the line when he first meets Padme about the angels, and it's so cringeworthy.
Yeah, crazy to think the Dark Lord of the Sith sprouted from this little...
a brat.
Yeah.
Almost. Like, later on in the trilogy becomes a brat, just a whiny teenager. I'm like, just shut up.
Yeah.
Good things in the movie. So the pod race. The pod race was awesome.
Yeah, it was
really cool.
Fast-paced.
John Williams music. Funnily enough, some of the best themes in the entire Star Wars universe are actually in the prequel trilogy. Go figure.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I think all the prequels, I love the soundtrack.
The Duel of the Fates score cue in the first one is so epic.
I mean, that's still, like, renowned. Like, now, it's still used, and, I mean, it's mostly...
And it's crazy it's coming from pretty much the worst of all the Star Wars movies. Because
really.
it is. It's in war. I don't know what you think, but for me, it's definitely the worst of all the Star Wars.
No, I agree.
Attack of the Clones isn't that much better, but it's better. Sort of. Until I start talking about sand.
One thing I really didn't like about this one, and I've said this before, but the introduction between Obi-Wan and Anakin should be, like, monumental.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's literally,
hi.
That's literally all it is when we gets onto the ship. And it should be, like, massive because they have such a cool face-off in A New Hope. And
well, their friendship / what turns into a rivalry is what drives so much of the Star Wars story.
Yeah, exactly.
And, you know...
the meeting, you know...
Yeah. This is the biggest encounter, pretty much, in the whole series, and it's...
brushed over.
Hi.
Yeah.
That's the dialogue you get. And the Jedi Council bits were kind of weird.
Yoda was weird. I mean, he was like a robotic toy to begin with.
He's always been a puppet that's animated by Frank Oz.
Yeah.
And they continued that in Episode 1. Until they went and he digitally redid it for the DVDs.
Yeah.
But the theatrical release was a puppet. Yeah.
Which, like, I feel like they probably didn't need to do that. They could have even done it digitally to begin with. It probably would have looked better.
Yeah. There's so much CGI in here that just didn't need to be done either. George Lucas kind of went down a path where he thought more CGI was better. And some of it looks really cartoony.
Like Jar Jar Binks, the whole entirely to begin with.
Oh God, Jar Jar Binks.
Excuse me.
That was a weird first scene when you first meet Liam Neeson's character Qui-Gon. Yeah, just so many what the hell moments in this movie.
Yeah, it didn't need to be that.
Some more, I feel like we're just bashing this movie, which, I mean, yeah, it's got flaws, but, yes, I guess going back to some of the more positive aspects of it, Qui-Gon is great. Liam Neeson does a fantastic job. Ewan McGregor was born to play Obi-Wan.
Yeah, it was.
Padme plays a great Natalie Portman plays a great Padme. And
Keira Knightley does well as well.
Keira Knightley's got a little role in there as Natalie Portman's double.
I always thought they looked very similar.
They
Keira
do.
Knightley and
Yeah,
Natalie
they do look similar.
Yeah, so I just thought that was cool.
Yeah.
That
Well, that's why George Lucas picked her.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you got, of course, Ian McDiarmid as Palpatine, and he's made that role so iconic now. Sometimes for good reasons, sometimes for bad reasons. But again, that's not so much his fault. It's more the script that he's been given.
Yeah.
George Lucas, please just proofread your scripts before you release them. Seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really have anything else to say about it. There's nothing really much in this movie to talk about.
Yeah, nothing really happens.
No, literally,
I mean,
nothing happens.
Like the main part of it is the pod race, really.
Yeah, if you talk about all the politics, the main story you could cover in like an hour. So what do you give the Phantom Menace?
2 stars.
Yeah, I'm going like 50-50, 2.5.
They will never get me onto one of those dreadful starships.
Always two there are, a master and an apprentice.
Okay guys, thanks for watching. Those are our thoughts on the Phantom Menace. Tell us what you thought in the comments section below. Also hit that subscribe button if you want to see more. Our Attack of the Clones review will be up shortly, which is our next installment in the Star Wars franchise. That's it for now. I'm Jeremy.
And I'm Robbie.
And may the Force be with you.